Hey, how's it going? It's Walsh here, sick as always. Welcome to episode 12 of the Keepers of the Flame League here on Ruthless SSF. I love Holy Flame Totem. Like, not only am I using two classic uniques that I used to love way back in the day, but like I've said before in the last video, Holy Flame Totem was the first character I ever hit maps with, all the way back in Hardcore Talisman League. And that was like before we even had Ascendancies and stuff, so coming back to it after all this time, and playing it as an Ascendant no less, just makes me feel really good. I still want to play a Warden at some point. It's kind of funny that I don't know. There was a part of me that thought I was absolutely gonna hate playing Warden. I thought it was gonna be like the most dreadful experience. But honestly, I kind of love tinctures now. They're actually really comfortable on a Warden. I still don't like them on any other Ascendancy, but on a Warden it feels really good. My plan today is just to farm, level up this character, try to get some currency. I did change my tree a little bit. We have Harbingers. I actually have a little bit of everything. We have Smuggler's Caches. We have Ritual Harbinger, like I just said, and I don't know. We got a little bit of Blight stuff too. I'm not really like gonna put pressure on this character to go do high tier maps. I kind of just want to farm for a while, stockpile some currency, and see what we can get up to. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you near the end. It's kind of a shock going from like Earthquake to Flame Totem, not only for the range, but I don't know, it just feels so comfortable. I'm not really clicking many buttons. I will say one thing, some of the clips I recorded like on like the day before, like it was like Thursday or Friday night, something like that, are a little quieter. I'm not really sure why. I think my mic is just getting old. At some point I will buy a new one. I did put a disclaimer on some of those clips, but yeah, sorry about that. But anyway, mapping on this character feels great. I love having the range. I love taunting. It makes everything feel so much easier. Even though this character isn't tanky, it just feels it because of the taunt. My plan originally was going to be to just farm white tier maps so I could stock up some Kirek missions. Because eventually I do want to start working on my unique completions just for the extra Atlas points. But I really wanted to not only just get a bunch more XP, because doing white maps is going to hurt my XP a lot, but also I really want to see what this character is going to feel like in higher tier maps. Because I want to kind of get a range of like what this character is going to be. If it ends up just being a low tier map farmer, I'm totally fine with that. I do need one of those, especially if it keeps clearing at this speed. And of course, it feels really nice and high because it has taunt. But it would be nice if I could do this character on like, you know, tier 12 plus, ideally tier 14. 14 is always that golden threshold. Obviously, the higher tiers you go, the better. But you really want to be on 14 just for, you know, the shrines and the influences and all that stuff. But yeah, that's the plan. I might just farm tier 10s for a while, assuming this character can do them pretty cleanly, which I don't think it's going to be a problem. All of our other points right now are going to go to defenses. I am going to spend 2 points in Ironwood just to make the totems tankier, and then we're going to come down here, get Command of Steel, and then we're going to come up here and get Safeguard. Though I will say, I'm not entirely sure if this is the correct route to go. I was also thinking of maybe going for Nomadic Teachings and taking Prismatic Skin, which would feel really nice. And eventually, when we get higher armor, I can have some Fizz Mitigation. My Fizz Mitigation is never going to feel good. The other option I was thinking of is go for Command of Steel, and then take these 3 small nodes just to get 9% chance to block, which is pretty incredible. And then maybe just going for max res instead of going for spell block, but I'm not really sure yet. Dropped the random amulet, just threw an alka on it, and of course it's like the best amulet I've found all league. Which, granted, it's not a very good amulet, but you know, it's nice having a life res amulet just lying around, especially for my other character that just doesn't even have one. So generally speaking, the single target feels pretty good on this skill, considering we're only on a 4 link right now. Hey, Alvascarab. I am messing with the flamewood support right now. I'm not really sure if I'm going to use it or not, but it has the added benefit of actually caring about projectile numbers, which does work with my Ascendancy. And I will say, it's kind of better than I thought it would be. I've never really used this support, it's never been something I thought would be very good, but it's actually not that bad, especially considering I get a free projectile. And the AoE is good enough where it's like, so if the totem's shooting in one direction, this is the biggest problem with this character. The totem only shoots in one direction, so if there's stuff behind it, like, the clear is just kind of awkward. It's not that the clear feels bad, it's just kind of weird. And since the totems are taunting anyway, they do get hit fairly often, which means they do trigger their little attack pretty much all the time. And as you can see, the AoE is actually pretty decent on it. It's not, like, crazy or anything like that. And the gem is only level 6, so it's only going to get stronger from here. I don't know if I'm going to keep it on. I'll probably use it once I have a 5 link, assuming I ever get one. But until then, I'm not sure if it's worth it, but I'm going to use it for a while. Got my Uber Lab done, and I have to say, this character is just, I don't know, I keep saying it's comfortable, but there's no other word to use to describe it. You have to barely put any effort in at all. I don't even use like my graft abilities pretty much ever because I just don't want to click the button. And going from Earthquake, where I'm triple work rawing all the time. Don't get me wrong, I love Earthquake and I love that character. It wasn't really a problem, but just going from that to just walking around and dropping a totem every couple of seconds is so nice. I got another Flamewood support, and honestly, I've been messing with it, and I kept like going back and forth, thinking, oh, it was pretty good, oh, it was pretty bad. Well, I'm going to talk more about that in a second, but yeah, I'm just going to tell you right now, if you're playing specifically Holy Flame Totem, I highly recommend it. It is incredible for clear speed, and honestly, the single target DPS seems pretty good with it. So from the limited testing I've been doing, the Flamewood support makes my clear speed so much better, but whenever you're fighting against like a boss or an enemy that never hits the totems, it's pretty terrible, obviously, but most of the time you can taunt stuff to hit it. There are some weird like occasions where like you're fighting like a necromancer that's really tanky with Soul Eater or whatever, which doesn't actually attack, so you kind of do less damage. But it's really not that noticeable. Obviously, taking off a gem is always going to make you do less damage. But yeah, I think we're going to stick with Flamewood. It's kind of sick. I wish I could get like a 5-link and just use Flamewood just so I could maintain my damage all the time. But as you can see, when those little projectiles come down, their AoE is actually way bigger than I thought they were. It was like what I was doing to test it is I just put down one totem and just watched it explode to see the AoE. And yeah, the AoE is pretty sick. And if I have all 4 of them out and like the boss hits them, like it's pretty crazy how much they get chunked. I have dropped a lot of blue support gems. I have a decent amount of green, but I have almost no red gems, which is unfortunate. Those are the main ones I need right now. I would love to get a Fist of War or Pulverize. I will say, though, we did get Overexertion, which is a pretty big deal for my Earthquaker. Now, I am planning on farming on this character for quite a while, but obviously right now my Earthquaker is my main bosser, and at some point I do want to go, like, fight Shaper, fight Elder, do stuff like that, just to progress my Atlas and my currency. This character is so comfortable to map on. I just walk around, I drop totems, every now and then I curse something. I barely pay attention, and I'm just so tanky naturally that I don't really die at all. The only time I've died is when I've like run in the middle of a bunch of stuff during a breach for no reason. But other than that, we're just alive all the time. And now that I just got my first block node, I feel even stronger than before. And my block chance is pretty terrible. 33% chance to block is pretty bad. But yeah, feels great. If you want a totem character this league, I highly recommend it. I really hope that graphs go core. I think they're a great addition to Path of Exile. I do obviously want them to be nerfed, at least in Ruthless, because some of them are pretty busted, like the bone spikes and stuff like that. But what happens with a lot of ARPGs is you have like kind of the same like paper dolls set up. You got like your helmet, your body armor, weapons, gloves, stuff like that. And very quickly as a player you'll learn, oh hey, if I'm playing this slot, for example, let's do an example. Let's say you're playing cold BV on Ruthless, where it's really difficult to get like cold conversion. You pretty much know you're going to be using Hrimsar gloves because they give you 100% fizz as cold instead, which is pretty fantastic and pretty hard to get anywhere else. So that's like, if you're playing that build, you're always going to have that. And now, obviously, that's going to happen with graphs too over time. But with the graphs, considering you get to have 2 of them, you can fill some very unique holes in your character, which will open up other slots to do other things. One that I really like is the one that basically gives you like this. I don't have it on right now. The one that gives you kind of like a molten shell effect, which is really cool because a lot of characters I've played, like it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain with specific examples because why do I keep finding once? It's a lot easier to actually just show you when it happens. But what I'm saying is graphs are just a new way to have gear slots on your character in a way that doesn't feel weird. Like, I remember years ago I played an ARPG, and their solution to this was you had 5 rings, like, on each hand, so your main hand, your offhand, except on your main hand, the rings only affected your main weapon, and on your offhand, it only affected your shield. And also, you could only play one hand in the shield. It was a very weird ARPG. It was a browser game back in the day. And it was an interesting solution, but there was a lot of flaws with it. One, it feels kind of silly. You're wearing like 5 rings for some reason. But graphs are like, I don't know, it's kind of that perfect solution. It even feels like a bit of a mutation because you have like the arms on your back. And it's like I said, you can just fill so many unique holes, either DPS or clear speed or CC. You can even get stuff like recovery, you can get endurance charges. I don't know. I love them. I don't know what like the community thinks about graphs, but I hope they stay. I just hope they get nerfed. I dropped a 6-socket Oros, which I'm probably never going to use, but you never know. Maybe at some point in the leaf, I have a bunch of fusings or whatever. I could try and 6-link it. I'm not really in the market to play Flicker Strike, but I mean, I'm not going to say I'll never play Flicker Strike. Anyway, I did hit level 80. I forgot to do the slash plate, unfortunately. But pretty decent time, 10 hours, not too bad. I will say we could have done it faster, but I stayed on white tier maps for quite a while trying to get a Kirak mission, which we never got one, but I mean, it's fine. So far, doing forts on this character is a breeze. With the Earthquake character, I'm always running around trying to get the ranged enemies because I have to get really close to kill them. On this character, like half the time, I don't even know where I'm putting totems. I just close my eyes and place them. Not only do the totems actually taunt, but the range that they fire is ridiculous. I actually got a Frost Breath, which I actually really need for a project, and I divined it. And you know what? We got the perfect attack speed roll, which is the only roll I care about. I do not have the double map node for strong boxes, unfortunately, and I just randomly got a cartographer's. I had some chaos laying around that I'm not using, so I figured I'd invest some money into it. I was going to keep going until I got, like, drops a unique map, but honestly, I spent so much money on it, it just wasn't worth it. And we got absolute trash, which, I mean, makes sense. I've gotten to the point now where it's undeniable. I don't know if you just saw the chunk from that, but the flamewood totem support actually does more damage than the totem itself. It's actually ridiculous damage. I'm not sure why it's hitting so hard, and I kind of like it. I even thought about using like multiple projectiles or whatever, but I don't think it's worth it. And the only reason I think that is it's kind of hard for certain enemies to actually hit the totems, which is kind of awkward, so it's not really efficient. But I could definitely see a world where like certain boss fights or whatever you actually just like throw on GMP or something, and it's probably even way more damage than like added fire or anything like that. I'm not entirely sure of that. Obviously, I haven't mapped it out or anything, but it feels pretty awesome. I am doing some tier 10s. I was thinking about going up to a tier 11, tier 12, but I really want to stockpile a couple yellow Kirak missions since I gave up doing the white tier. And I really just need to save those up because it's so annoying when like you have a singular scouting report but you don't have any missions, so you can't really use it efficiently. So I kind of just want to get that done. But yeah, Flamewood so far seems pretty amazing. I highly recommend it. It's been quite a while since I've dropped any Foulborn uniques I actually want. But I'm not looking at a list or anything like that. I don't know all the possible uniques you can get, let alone what they can actually roll. Because I kind of like being surprised by that kind of stuff, you know? Why would I want to know beforehand? But anyway, you know, we're doing more fortresses. This character has no problem doing it. I think once in a blue moon, if I'm doing too rippy a map, I might fail one. But I haven't failed one in, like, quite a while. Hey, look at that. Got some, we got some trash. That's pretty cool, I guess. I mean, calling Winter Weave trash is kind of over the top, actually. I take that back. I don't have, like, a character in mind right now to use Winter Weave, but, I mean, it's always a good unique to have. Got a key rack mission, and I got the, the weird torch boots. Okay. I don't know if this is going to be worth it, but, I mean, I have to try, right? You know, I'm going to commit so hard, I'm going to divide it. Alright, that did not go well. I mean, I was hoping to get more placement speed, but I mean, whatever. Yeah, my res caps. I am. I do lose 300 life, though. Oh, man. I feel like that's so good, though. I mean, if I'm going the whole, like, if I'm trying to do the whole, like, Flamewood support thing, then I have to try, right? I don't know if I'm going to commit to it, but I'm going to try. I've only, like, used these boots for a little while, but I don't know if you can tell, but my clear speed is way freaking better. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but the damage from the Flamewood totem is ridiculous. Watch her health. Ready? They go up, and look at that. It, like, chunked the boss for, like, half of its life. Now, obviously, it's just a tier 10. I'm not saying this is, like, millions of DPS or anything, but it does so much damage and it feels so good. And if you're fighting a boss that hits the, like all the totems multiple times a second, like obviously there's a cooldown there, but like if they keep shooting the projectiles, oh my god, the damage is absolutely insane. So I'm kind of wondering if there's a way where I could actually make the totems tanky enough to just go all the way and go all in on like the flamewood support and the boots for the reflect. I don't know if it would be better. I don't know if it would be good, but it would be kind of like something fun and something I've never tried before. And we were talking before about my jewel sockets and everything like that on the last video. I have like 3 or 4 sockets available to me right now, and I have like nothing to fill them with, and I just have currencies sitting in my stash doing nothing. So I decided to invest a bunch of money. I made a really good claw jewel, decided to val it, and I mean, it's fine, I guess. The implicit doesn't really do anything, but I mean, it's kind of funny. I got one of the Foulborn Frost Breaths, which I am never going to use because using that mace without attack speed is a complete waste of time. So yeah, no thank you. Hey, you've made it this far in the video. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I am level 81, 30% of the way to 82. This character, it truly does feel like a really old school totem character to me. Like, don't get me wrong, I love spell totem like Flame Blast and stuff like that. But there's just something about Holy Flame Totem that just like reignites some old Path of Exile feelings. Even more so that I get to actually use the Tukohama's Fortress. I love this shield. I kind of like forgot this shield was even a thing because blood magic is just not what it used to be. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely some builds that are insane with blood magic. Like Burning Arrow of Vigor is still a build I want to play, and I think that would be really fun with blood magic, obviously, because you're just stacking life. But yeah, I love the Fortress. I love using Xoph's Blood. I haven't had a Xoph's Blood build in forever. I kind of want to try and farm a few of these this league and try to double corrupt them, see if I can like really take this character far. Because remember, the goal at the beginning of the league, I rolled 4 random Transfigured Gems, and the goal was to try and get at least one of those builds to kill Uber Elder, and then try to kill Maven with it. I'm not saying I can, but I'm definitely going to try, and I don't know if this character can do it, but it's pretty funny so far. I don't think I've ever considered doing like Reflect Totem stuff before. I have definitely never used Flamewood support, and I have certainly never considered using these boots. These are always like an auto vendor for me. So it's kind of fun like trying to play totems in a new way, at least a new way for me. In terms of my tree, I did end up dropping the blocking nodes, which I did talk about earlier. I'm going to go Prismatic Skin, and I'm also going to take Nomadic Teachings. I'm just going to go for a bunch of max LE res and try and stack some armor. I don't think that's necessarily going to be really good, but like the base block on this shield is just so bad, 25%, that I don't think it's worth spending all these points on it. I also considered like changing this and going for the ranger location to try to get spell suppression, but like just to get to this node right here would be like 12 or 14 points or something ridiculous. And that's assuming I went straight through here to take these nodes right here, which are pretty bad for me because like I have no evasion obviously. I mean, you could do some other suppression stuff like come down here to entrench, but I think that's pretty terrible. I am not doing entrench. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty fun experimenting with this character. The biggest weakness I have right now is I have like all these jewel sockets that basically have trash. Well, I mean, these are like decent jewels, just not decent jewels for this character, except for this one. This one's just absolute trash. But yeah, I think ultimately, if I had the choice, I would either A, get just 3 awesome jewels, maybe even like go for 4 at some point, which would be pretty incredible flexibility. What is that point doing there? We'll deal with you in a minute. But yeah, like I was saying, either have those jewels or go right here and try. Maybe I was really thinking about specking into Delirium and maybe trying to go for like a cluster jewel. Because I will say, I mean, I'm not rich or anything, but I do have 10 chaos. I have been wasting a lot of money in this video, but I don't know. That's like a thing for me where if I have too much currency laying around, it feels like I'm wasting it, so I always feel inclined to use it. But I am going to save it. I think I might actually spec into Delirium on my Atlas tree, because it would be pretty fun. Like, this character is like just begging for a cluster jewel. Like, I'm considering taking Nomadic Teachings and taking Prismatic Skin. I was almost wondering, like, instead of taking those, so that's just 6 points by themselves, and then 7, 8, 9 if I don't take the jewels. And since I'm not taking this, that's 11 points because I was going to take this jewel socket right there. I could easily do a large cluster and 2 mediums, and I never get to do that. So I don't know if I'm going to do it. Let me know what you think about that idea, but I might go for it. I'm pretty excited for this character. I don't know what it is about Holy Flame Totem, but it's just like relighting some nostalgia for me. I have my doubts that this is ever going to be strong enough to do something like Uber Elder, but I really do want to try because, like I said, I love this skill. I haven't done any of this stuff in a long time. I am working on my body armor. This is the one from my Earthquake character. I'm going to try and 6-socket it. Why 5? But I can't like brick it too much because if I like brick a map or something and I need to complete it, I want to be able to go back to my champion. But yeah, I got a couple of decent implicits on it. I'm probably going to change it now since like I'm not going to go for the whole like block route. Come on! I can't roll over that, right? I mean, it's just a lesser. Oh no, it's a grand. What am I talking about? I just used a grand one. Oh my god. Whatever, I'm not going to deal with this right now. I am almost certainly going to change my tree, because as you can see, this is my farming tree. It has Harbinger stuff, which is great for rolling your Conquerors and your Elder Guardians. I did take the Heist node. I just want to mess with it, because I think Heist actually might be fun now that you don't have to do the stupid quest line. I think what I'll do is just drop Ritual and do a little bit of cluster stuff, nothing too crazy. But yeah, anyway, I really hope you enjoy the video. I'm really excited to work on this character. Let me know what you think about Cluster Jewels, and I'll see you tomorrow.